In the cauldron of the Middle East, the Israeli Air Force has forged one of the most skilled fighting units in the history of aerial warfare. Often outnumbered, the Israelis have tallied more victories in the modern dogfight than any other air force. Now, with remarkable computer animation, you're in the cockpit with the best of the IAF. As Mirage 3 and F-15 fighters slug it out with combat-tested MiGs. Experience the battle, dissect the tactics, relive the dogfights of the Middle East. June 7, 1967, the Six-Day War. 3 Israeli Mirage fighters streak towards the southern tip of the Sinai Peninsula. The Israelis, threatened with hostile armies massed on their borders, have made lightning strikes against the Soviet-equipped Arab air forces. Now they're battling across a broad front in Egypt, Syria, and Jordan. Lieutenant Giora Rome is flying number 3. Suddenly, GCI, ground-controlled intercept, crackles over the radio. Israeli troops in the strategic mountain pass of Bir Gafgapa are under attack by MiG-17s. The Mirages, designed to take on enemy aircraft, jettisoned their external tanks and heavy load of bombs. Now they're in their element. In the fading light, Rome catches movement close to the ground. Though he's only a lieutenant, Giora Rome is supremely confident and very aggressive. He learned a valuable lesson 2 days earlier, the first time he encountered a MiG.
I was in a very convenient position to shoot him down, but my number 1 told me, move aside, I'm going to shoot him down. And I, as a very young pilot, and a very disciplined pilot at that time, moved aside and he shot him down. And at that moment I said to myself, I'm not going to move aside, never in my entire life.
Minutes after that first disappointment, Rome kills 2 MiG-21s with his 30mm cannon. Later that same afternoon, over Syria, he knocks a 3rd MiG-21 out of the sky. Now, Giora Rome, the junior officer in the flight, has spotted 2 MiG-17s firing on Israeli troops. The MiGs are here. The Mirages are here. The young pilot will take the initiative and pitch over into a steep dive. His speed builds rapidly. He's going too fast. By the time Rome is ready to fire, he's already overtaken them. The MiGs bug out to the west.
They saw me, and then they turned as a pair westward to fly back, to run away to Egypt.
He loops back around to chase the MiGs. Meanwhile, the other 2 Israeli Mirages have lost sight of Rome.
And they ask, where are you flying? Now you remember my story about the first MiG-21 I missed. I said to them, I'm flying eastward. And I send them direction due east.
He has intentionally sent his superior officers in the wrong direction.
Now I'm by myself with the 2 MiG-17s. and they're flying like about, I would say, 15 meters above the road of the middle of Sinai, very low.
Rome accelerates on the deck. At this altitude, the Mirage is over 100 miles per hour faster than the MiG-17. But he's taking a beating from the MiG's jet wash. It's nearly impossible to keep his pepper on the target, but he manages to get off a shot. 30mm high-explosive rounds tear into the MiG.
And I shot a burst at the number 2. And there were black pieces coming from him all over the place. But unlike the previous MiG-21s, he didn't explode. On the contrary, he raised his nose and started to climb, while number 1 was continuing to fly to Egypt.
Rome overtakes the climbing MiG.
Something was very strange because he was climbing. He didn't maneuver, just climbing. And all of a sudden, I found myself in close formation with the MiG-17. I look at it. There was no canopy. There was no pilot inside. Part of the black pieces that I saw was the pilot. He ejected himself after he raised his nose. And now I was chasing a pilotless MiG-17. But after another like 10 or 15 seconds, all of a sudden he rolled on his back, his nose fell down, and he hit the ground.
Lieutenant Giora Rome, against overwhelming odds, has racked up 4 MiGs in 3 days. He is 1 kill away from becoming Israel's first jet ace. During the 1960s, the Arab countries surrounding Israel accrued a nearly 5-to-1 superiority in numbers of combat aircraft. The venerable Russian MiG-17 was the most widely used fighter in the Arab world. Although subsonic, the MiG-17 was built like a tank and extremely maneuverable. In 1962, the Israeli Air Force acquired the French-built Mirage 3 as a response to advanced Russian aircraft being supplied to the Arabs. The Delta Wing Mirage was a lightweight Mach 2 fighter designed to climb quickly to altitude to intercept enemy bombers. The Mirage was an extremely versatile aircraft, and the Israelis used it successfully as a fighter bomber.